Welcome back once again. This is Taoranika for Team One TV. I'm here with one of the legends of the Melbourne Storm, Billy the Man Slater. Hey Billy, lots been talked about the Melbourne, the dynasty, the culture of the club. What do you put there down?
A few things, T. I think firstly the people involved in the club, and not just the people present today, the people who started the club up, yourself. You look at guys like John Rebo, Chris Johns. The foundation members of the club certainly contributed to what the club's about today. I think we've just carried that on. Obviously, when you have success and you have success over a long period of time, it generates culture and high standards, and it's just a formula of what we've built ourselves on.
Certainly is. You've had some outstanding players over the years, and in the early years we had the likes of Glenn Lazarus, Robbie Kearns, and I spoke to Robbo and Kearnsy today around. They're still with the club. I said, what holds you and what binds you here today? Because they're a big part of it. But as a young guy coming to the club, what did you look up to when you heard about the Melbourne Storm? Because it must have been very daunting in those early days for you.
Yeah, it certainly was. And we had a new coach when I first turned up. So Craig Bellamy's first year was my first year in Melbourne. But guys like Matt Geyer, Robbie Ross helped me out enormously when I first came into first grade. He was unfortunately injured, and he sort of helped me out and taught me the ropes. So guys like that. Marcus By was here. So I learned a lot off those older, experienced guys.
So now, Billy, I know that you're injured, but I know there's a new guy, Cameron Munster, on the block, and I noticed that you're doing the same thing. So what goes around comes around into helping those younger players out. Yeah,
certainly. And look, I'm very honoured to be able to still contribute to the team. And unfortunately, I'm not out on the field contributing in that way, but I try and help Cameron out whenever I can, and come up with little things that improves his game. He's a real mature player for his age, and he's got a big future ahead. So hopefully, he'll stay at the Melbourne Storm for a long time.
Now, a lot of young players, when they come to the club, there's this, yourself, you've been through that mill, but I think one of the key elements when you talk to a lot of young players, they are scared. They are, I suppose, new coming into the environment. What would you say to a new player who's looking at coming to the Melbourne Storm?
I think firstly, don't come here if you're not willing to work hard. There's my little fellow behind it.
It's all right, Jake. You get in there, mate. You're all part of it too.
But it's firstly, you've got to be able to work hard. You've got to be willing to work hard. That's what we build our standards, and our whole culture is built on working hard and working for one another. So that's the first thing. We don't expect people to do things they can't do. So Craig's never expected everyone to go out and play like Greg Inglis, but he has a handful of things that are non-negotiables, and if you do them really well, you're a big chance of being inside.
Now, there's a lot of talk about Ryan Hinchcliffe being Craig Bellamy's son. Is that a true fact? Does that have a big impact on the team? Because I know he gets a lot of stick for that.
He is the coach's pet. And Hinchy's one of those guys I was just talking about. He hasn't got the most talent in the side, but he's one of the hardest workers. He's got a tremendous work ethic. He works for his teammates, and he does all those little things around the ruck that no one really wants to do. So he's a genuine team player, and he's the heart and soul of the team at the moment.
I know that when I was one of the players playing for the Storm, you always wanted to go out there and play your best, do your best for the team, and be one of those guys that everyone wanted to play with. And I think that's part of the foundation. We had guys like Robbie Kearns, Glenn Lazarus, myself, Steve Kearney, in those earlier days, setting those foundations. So as one of the players that's been here, probably be a one club player, Billy, what do you see for the future success of the Melbourne Storm?
I think we've got a pretty young side at the moment. So you look at the Kiwi guys in the side, Jesse Bromwich, Kevin Proctor, Tohu Harris. I think the side's going to be built around them over the next decade. And then you've got younger guys like Cameron Munster, these sort of guys that are coming through now and really making a fist of their opportunity. So I think it's in a healthy spot. And they're going to go through their debut first 2-3 seasons, following Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, and Ryan Hinchcliffe, and working out these work ethics. And when we move on, we'll get booted out sooner or later. But when we move on, these guys will still have those work ethics and those values within them.
Billy, you played at the highest level, State of Origin, won a number of series, played for Australia, premierships and grand finals. There's a special thing about the Storm. What is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the biggest. How you put it is, it's the Storm family, and that's generally what it is. A lot of players, or probably 99% of the players that play for the Melbourne Storm are from interstate. So you've really got to have that family mentality down here. So if you're gonna catch up and go out for dinner or go have a hit of golf, you're generally doing it with your teammates rather than someone who you grew up at school with or your mates down the road. So it generally is a family culture down here, and I suppose that's the closeness of this club.
Billy, you've been injured of late and spent a lot of time in the coaching box. Is that a prerequisite to seeing you in that field? I know you've been sitting there behind Craig Bellamy. What's it like sitting in the box when he's going off his rocker?
It's a bit, I think the most dangerous thing in the box is Craig Bellamy just doing his block and jumping back and throwing the chair in you or something like that. So you got to be careful of that. But I enjoyed it up there. You can see the game from a different perspective, and I try and go down at half time and help the boys out where I can. If I can see opportunities in the opposition defence, well, point them out to the boys that need to know. But yeah, I do enjoy it, but I enjoy being out on the field a lot more.
Billy, it's always a privilege and a pleasure, mate. Great to see you, one of the current legends of the Melbourne Storm. Always great to see you, and we look forward to seeing you weaving your magic out there on the field next year.
Thanks, T. Always good to see you back here, mate.
Certainly is. Taura Nikau for Team 1 TV.